want to say thank you. Thanks that you guys can make it. We are so grateful for not only you all that are family, but you all that are friends and people that took part in our mom's life. And so, for you all to be able to get here, I think is an accomplishment. So we just want to say thanks. And thanks for the time, for the trouble, for the heart, for the love, and for any memories that you share with our mom. In thinking about Mom, the things that I remember her for, and I think everybody else remembers her for, are not these great impresarial achievements or business type things or making headlines or things like that. Although she did make a headline once or twice. Yeah. The thing I remember her, she was a wife, a mom, and a friend. Yeah, grandmom as well. Yeah, you can include that in there. But
great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all right. Family connections. But as I remember her, I think of her first as a dedicated wife. She was on my dad's side, and she held him and lifted him up in a way where all right. I don't remember one time that she told me that my dad was wrong. She was always on his side. And those two, my dad pretty much worshiped my mom. One thing that I think about is that, when I was at home, I could always count on, even though sometimes I did not like it, I knew that my folks were together. I knew that they were walking side by side, that they were, if they weren't on the same page, they tried their darndest to be on the same page. So, for that reason, if you read any of my dad's books, it's Marna Press, Marion Napoli. And so he dedicated everything to her. And if I remember my mom, then I'm of course going to remember my dad. If I remember my dad, well, I'm going to remember my mom. They were that close. As a mom, one thing that I could always count on was that my mom was always there. She was always at home, or when I was at an event, she was there. And I mean, she was in good shape, but hypothetically, if she had broken a leg, she would have broken another leg just to be where I was doing whatever I was doing, whether it was swimming, athletics, or some other thing. She was that dedicated. The dedication that she had as a wife, as a mom, and even as a friend, she was probably, I guess we would call it faithful to a fault to her friends. And any one of you who had met her would know, if you needed something, hey, Marion, I'm wondering, ... Yeah, sure, yeah, well, hold on, now let me do what I can. And so her faithfulness in that way, in at least these three things was just, that I think really marked her. Motherhood and being a wife, they're the hardest jobs in the world, and my mom did her best to do those as best as she could. And she's one of what I would call, the anonymous billions that are out there doing that same job. Because you all know that being a parent, or being a parent, it's a thankless job. And she didn't complain. She never complained about being our mom. Never did. And so we probably gave her a lot of grief. What kid doesn't, So anyway, those are some of the things that I, was thinking about. And I kind of wonder, why is it that in funerals or whatever, that, we get sad, we miss people and all that. I never deal with people's passing very well. I've lost a lot of friends, especially recently. You guys probably have as well. I really don't like death in and of itself. There's always the missing of it. There's always, there's always loss, etc. I've never liked it, and it doesn't matter if it's somebody that's elderly, somebody that's not so much or youth. It's just, I've never liked it. We weren't made just for this life, We just weren't made just to, have our 70, 80, 90 years, whatever it is, on this earth, and then we go. There's something so much more profound to our lives. And I remember I was a senior in high school. I was ready to graduate. It was a few weeks before. And what happened was I had a good friend of mine whose sister, her little sister, died in a tragedy. And I didn't really have words to say. I didn't know what to say. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. What can is there anything that you need or whatever? And she looked at me with a face that I can never forget. And this is over 40 years later. She looked at me with so much calm and with so much peace. And she said, don't worry about it. I'm okay. You are? How can that be? It's fine. Because I know where she's going, and I know who will be with her.
There we go.
And I know where I'm going, and I know who will be with her. And for me, I went, what? I was totally stunned, totally speechless. And so from that point on, I never forgot those words. And it was a few years later that I had my own personal encounter with the God who made me. And I can say that, with this friend who told me 40-some years ago, that when my time comes, that I know where I'm going and I know who will be with me. And it's something that gives me calm and it gives me peace. And so my mom, she's no longer here. She's already gone on. But I know that I can live this life with an additional purpose, with an eternal purpose, with an eternal strength, an eternal peace that goes beyond my own understanding. And so I know that I can stand up here and have peace, whatever happens coming up, that I know who will be with me and who is with me.
Amen.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
no,
nice.
that's wonderful.
Well, it's November 9th, 2021, and so I'm with my mom, and so this is, we've had a good time, and so I'm grateful that we can take this time together, all these days together, and
Yeah,
so,
I had a good time. I really did, because it was so unusual and, unexpected, and it just came out very, very nice, and have some nice pictures there. Yeah.
we're
Yeah, and
grateful.
it's also that you can keep these,
Uh-huh.
you put them into a box, and then when you suddenly, oh, what did we do? What was that? And you go in there, and hey, there it is.
And so it's been a real precious time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Ma. Yes.
Oh, a little bye-bye, and until next time.